Hey there everyone, Erica here from Highway 49 RC. Thank you to my patrons and channel members for making this video possible. If you want to help support me with them, links are in the description down below. Today, we are going to be finishing out the MOA build. Yes, today is the tuning episode for this insane MOA rig. If you aren't familiar, this is my custom built MOA on deluxe fab axles, custom built chassis with custom skid plate, custom wheels. This thing is killer, but it needs a little bit of work. First thing I want to get to today is electrical related. I need to hop onto my computer with Castle Link. I need to change the reverse settings on my ESCs. I'll show you that in a moment. And I also want to try splitting my drag brake signal. As you remember last time, or one or two episodes ago, I was able to control the drag brake of one of the ESCs from my radio. I want to try and just put a Y harness out of the receiver because I don't have a sixth channel to run it on. I want to just try Y harnessing it and seeing if they will both do it. So more of an experiment, but I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, check it out. So if I'm going forward and I want to go straight to reverse, it doesn't let me do that. It goes into a brake mode first. And then after it returns to neutral, I can then go backwards. All I have to do is swap a setting in Castle Link. Castle calls it crawler reverse, which is what I'm trying to go for. The brake setting, I think it's like brake with reverse. The brake setting is good for bashing and racing where you actually want some brake action, but for crawling, it's quite a hassle, especially when you need reverse like that. All right, let's see if that worked. Oh yeah. Perfect. The other thing that I tried while I was doing that is I pulled a splitter out of the receiver to go to my drag brake control wires. Let's see if that actually worked. Oh, it did! What? Oh my god, that's awesome. So I think that's 0 right there. I know you guys can't tell because I'm the one turning them. That's medium. Oh. And that's max. Oh my god, it worked. It worked. Yes! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I didn't think that would work. I'm not sure why, but for some reason I didn't think it would work. Because splitting signal is not usually a super good idea. Okay, that was an epic success. I will make a smaller and shorter single wire splitter later on. I'll just do that off camera sometime and throw that in. But I'm so happy that that worked. Yes, big yes. Okay, moving on. Next thing I want to tackle is the rear skid plate vibration. So I'm going to pull this off and tweak that a bit. I'm also going to pull the front links off because we're going to shorten those as we talked about last time. And I'm going to pull the wheels off because we're going to mess with the caster angle, but I'll explain that later because it's a little more complicated. So here's a time lapse. I'll pull this apart and get back to you. I went out and got my rear skid plate taken care of. It was just a matter of filing it a bit, tweaking the bend a tad, and increasing the radius of this corner. But it should be good. I don't hear it ticking around anymore, so that should hopefully quiet that buzzing up. I also got my front links off here, as you can see. I'm thinking I'm probably going to shorten them by 1 inch. Thinking about 1.5 inches, but I think that's a little bit too much, and if I'm gonna go for 1.5 inches shorter wheelbase overall, I think I would do 1 inch in the front, 1/2 inch in the rear. But for now we're gonna start with 1 inch, see where that leaves us, and go from there. For those eagle-eyed viewers out there, there was indeed a sneak peek in those time lapses, but I got my links shortened up. I cut the bend off of the uppers just because I really didn't feel that I needed them. They were kind of getting in the way. So I'm going to get the axles thrown back under the chassis and we'll go from there. Okay, everything is all put back together. The shorter lengths in the front definitely increased my shock angle a bit because before it was laid back like that. Now it's a little bit closer to vertical. Put a lot more space between the chassis and the upper links there, as you can see, which is why I had them bent in the first place, but thus don't need them anymore. I moved the upper links to the outside of the chassis here to help with the triangulation, which it seriously did. Some people in the comments of last episode were saying that the links were too close together, as I had kind of thought, and it's way better. It feels way, way tighter. There's still a little bit of slop just because there's some crappy rod ends on here that I'll have to probably swap out at some point. I also moved the rear upper links to the outside of the chassis. They nearly sort of kind of collide with the lowers, but we'll see. I think I'm going to leave it like that for now, see what happens there. I moved the rear shocks back 2 holes, and is that it? I think that's all I did. Yeah. Alright, next up, let's talk about caster. Caster is the angle of rotation that your steering knuckle is on. So if you were to draw a line through the upper and lower ball joints of the knuckle, it's that angle that is caster. So right now, as you can see, this plate here is perpendicular with my caster angle. It is tipped way forward. That is really not good in full-size vehicles. This is negative caster, which is forward. Positive caster is back. Pretty darn sure if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. I do alignments at work, but I still don't know this. Pretty much all vehicles are going to have a positive caster angle. This is because it's going to be a more stable ride. The further forward your caster is, the more twitchy the steering is going to be. Essentially, like a bit of movement is going to create a lot of like actual steering movement. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it makes it twitchy, basically. So I am going to bring my caster angle closer to 0. I've probably got enough to get it maybe a couple degrees positive. I'm looking at the slot in the C-hub, and I'm not sure, but I'm really hoping that I can get it at least vertical. So that's what I'm going to do next, pull the outside ends of this axle apart, which I will show you because I've never really taken these apart too far, so that'll be cool to see. Okay, that took absolutely no time at all, but check out the size of that axle shaft. That is flippin' huge. Compare that to a Sharpie. That is flippin' massive. I don't know if I have a normal axial one. I do. Okay, this is a stock SCX-10 shaft. This is the deluxe axle shaft. Holy crap, that is a huge difference. Wow. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. So the way it was forward like that. Not quite that extreme, but you get the picture. And what I am going to do is rotate it back to... I could do it there. It would slide on in that position, but I think that's a bit too much positive caster. So I guess for right now, I am going to... Oh, I can put it there. That is perfect. That is the perfect amount of positive caster for me. Just a bit. Not too much, not too little. I'm happy with that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. So I can do it there. I can also get it perfectly flat up and down as well. But I think I'm going to go with the slightly positive. I like that a lot better. All right, fantastic. That was really easy. I didn't think it would be that easy, so awesome. Okay, so I may have gotten a little bit carried away, but because we adjusted our caster, this battery plate no longer worked. So I took that off, and then I realized I could make my steering go farther, like more angle side to side than before. And the main limiting factor was the fact that I could not get a rod end under the servo horn to go on top of the servo case, because it needs more swing basically. But check out what I was able to do. It goes almost to the stop this way, and it goes all the way to the stop that way. I bent the servo horn up a little bit, and then I used an offset rod end here. And then this link is bent up just friggin' perfectly, and there's no way that it can get caught in any position, like caught behind the screw. It doesn't get caught or anything. I am mighty pleased with that. Here's a look down from the top. You can see how close that rod end gets to the servo horn there. I just happened to have one offset one, and I did have to like shave a little bit off of it, but it works perfectly. And here's a shot of it from the side. You can see how I bent the servo horn there. It goes all the way that way. The bolt for the drag link actually passes under the tie rod there, as you can see. And look how close that gets to the servo output shaft. So freaking close, but that is phenomenal. I am so pleased with that. Next up on my list of things to tweak are the foams in the tires. Now, I already pulled one apart, and I have cut some holes in the foam sideways. Somebody in one of my previous episodes suggested using a dowel cutter for wood, but I was like, well, I could just make one out of a piece of real thin wall tube that I had, grind an edge and hone the edge on the end of it, and I can literally just twist and cut it through the foam, and it works really good actually. Everything is so stiff, the foams are stiff, the tires are super thick rubber, and having the tires sealed is not really doing me any favors, so I think I'm going to vent these with 2 holes, probably 2 1/8-inch holes, maybe 3. I'm going to pull the rest of these apart, get the holes cut in them, get them put back together, and then I think I'm going to take this thing out for a test run. Alright, got my foams cut, I vented the wheels, got everything put back together, and the tires feel a lot softer now, although I don't know how much of a difference it's actually going to make. Hopefully it does help. If it's perfect, great. I don't think it's going to be, but we'll have to see. I made a very janky battery mount here. This is just temporary. It's all held on with freaking zip ties, and I'm going to be using one of these chunky batteries just because this is the best thing that will fit up there for right now. Of course, I'm going to be getting smaller batteries in the future. Let us head over to the park and see how it does. Okay, so with that line there's definitely an improvement in traction. Not quite as much as I was hoping, so the foams are gonna have to be cut a bit more, I think. Also, sorry for all the beeping with the thing, because it's got all sorts of glitches and bugs I gotta work out, but traction so far is better. I'm also really liking the shorter wheelbase. It helps with maneuvering a little bit. Okay, fuck this line. I did it earlier. It doesn't want to do it now. Don't know why, but yeah, wheelbase did slightly kill me there, but traction. Just need more traction. Well, it can't do that line either. It's still got shit for traction, and shortening the wheelbase does not seem to have helped. Like, it's nicer, like, getting around, but actually, like, doing climbing lines, it's not helping. It's flipping over backwards a lot more, too, but that's because of how high my battery is. Like, it's way up there right now, but it was way lower before, so that's not helping at all. So I could probably, you know, once I get smaller batteries, lower it and then get brass knuckles. That might help. So, where are we at? I know I rambled while I was at the park a little bit, but let's go over some of the things that we succeeded at so far and still need to work on. We've succeeded in getting rid of the rear skid plate vibration. We succeeded in shortening the wheelbase, which has helped with its like radial rotational mobility, which is great. Right now, the shock angles have helped the suspension. There's really nothing more noticeable right now until I get the traction on the tires sorted out, which they are still way too stiff. The last thing that it has kind of developed into an issue since I tweaked my steering earlier in the video is I need to shorten my drag link here. Because right now the servo horn is skewed off to one side at a resting position, like one tooth off basically. So I can't get the tires I can go all the way one side, but not all the way the other side just because of the amount of rotation the servo has. So I'm going to tackle that real quick, shorten up that drag link. I shortened up my drag link here so that my servo horn is nice and centered, and I now have pretty much full turning all the way to each side. The tie rod does get in the way of the bolt a little bit, or vice versa, but that's okay for now. I can tweak it a little bit. I've got a spacer up on this side to raise it up a little bit, so that's been helping. And I have also been doing some foam cutting, as you can see. So I've got one set of tires right now that has this cut in it, which is literally just basically the outside section cut off of the foams that I put holes in. And then this one is the comp cut around the holes like I was talking about. So one of them is super soft. This tire here is this one. So it's really soft. I'm worried about the side hill capability of it. This one has the comp cut around the holes. This one I think might be perfect. This feels really nice. It's a good combination between what we had before and what I've got here. But because I've got the two different firmnesses, I can swap these front to rear and decide which one I like in the front and the back better. And if one of them needs to get changed, then I can do that. I'm going to get the rest of the tires put back together. I can't test them today, unfortunately, because it's too dark out, but I'll take them out another day and I'll let you guys know what I think. that it absolutely would not have done before. 100% certain I tried that line at some point and it didn't do it. Softer tires, so much better. Yes! Guys, I didn't get it on camera, but it made it up this one. I swear to you, you can hear it in my voice, it absolutely made it up this. I tried it for about 5 minutes, and it finally walked up it. Oh my gosh, this is such a tricky line. Like, you gotta get it just right to get it to walk up there. You gotta get all 4 tires in just the right spot, and it will slow crawl up it. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I did bring a screwdriver to swap the super soft tires with the soft tires in the front, or you know, the tires with the foams in them, to see if that makes a difference. We'll do that after we try the hill climb. No dice. Okay, so I'm gonna try switching the front and rear tires real quick and see if that makes any difference. Still no dice, unfortunately, but it's more promising. I like the really soft tires in the front because it helps them hook up better and helps kind of claw forward a bit more. Like, I'd say this is the closest it's ever been to getting up this line. Also, the slightly firmer tires in the back help reduce traction in the back when it's like tipped up on its back, because all that weight is coming down on the rear tires. So like, if they're too soft, you're gonna have like almost too much traction. It's just gonna flip you over all the time, which is kind of what was happening. So I'm gonna go back over to the undercut line, try that one again, see if having the super softs in the front helps at all. But I think I'm probably gonna leave it like this. I don't know. I'll have to mess around a little bit more and like play around on the rocks a bit more and see how I end up liking it. And I think the main ticket for the hill climb crevice is going to be extra weight in the front. I really think it needs some more weight, front and rear, but I think in the front's going to be really beneficial, and also getting that battery not quite so high up is going to help a ton also. Oh. Hey guys, how's it going? So this video turned out to be way too freaking long. It would have ended up being almost an hour if I included everything in it that I recorded, originally intending it to be one video. So I'm actually gonna cut it here because the next portion of this video, or I should say next episode, is kind of a totally different type of tuning than we did in this episode. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please leave a big fat thumbs up. If this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Support me on Patreon, join my Discord server, follow me on Instagram at Howie49_RC, and become a member too if you want to support the channel and help me make videos just like this one. If you guys are excited for the next episode, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.